I think this is the best Nissan ever made.
No, it isn't.
Holy crap!
Oh God. Awful.
Got a good wheel spin earlier, so. Oh, look at that! That was beautiful!
Yes!
Our plan is to hit the road in our Nissans, see what they can do, and then swap cars in an attempt to decide which is best. But first, let's take a look at them.
Right, Matt, what planet are you living on when you've turned up in a Micra for your pick for the best Nissan ever?
It will make sense. I will explain everything. But for the time being, I want to kind of throw it back at you and say, well, why have you got this and not an R34 Nissan Skyline GT-R?
I did think you'd ask that. The R34 is a pin-up, isn't it? It's the iconic car. It's like the Need for Speed Underground. It's the Fast and Furious car. They're so expensive now, but I think in terms of performance, they're just a slightly older car, aren't they?
They're of their time.
They are of their time.
So I'll give you that.
So this one, the Nismo GT-R, is a 2021 model with 600 horsepower. So performance-wise, it's the quickest out there. It's the quickest Nissan ever.
How much horsepower, mine, do you think?
Oh, in the Micra, what's the L model, which I presume means lethargic?
I don't know what L means.
60?
55.
I've got an entire BMW M5 more than you.
It's not all about power. Have a look inside. I mean, have a look at this glorious car.
Come on then, show me the interior.
Basic, it's lightweight.
Oh
this is the thing.
goodness.
Windy
Lightweight.
windows, because you don't need electric.
I don't think I've ever seen an interior quite so grey. Generally, Matt, I think it'd probably roll if I did this enough.
It probably would do, but comfortable, whereas this.
Okay, so on the drive here, a few bumpy pothole roads, even in comfort mode and suspension, it was a little stiff. However, that's the price you pay for performance. Look at it.
To be fair, it's not aged in here as badly as I thought it might.
No, it still feels like a new place to be, and when you're in it, you feel like you're in a cockpit of a fighter jet.
All right then, so I think we'll take these for a drive,
Make our cases.
make our case, swap.
Oh, well, I'll make my case. You don't have a case to make, so you're just going to poodle around in an old man's Micra.
I have a case that Judge Judy would approve of, so yeah, and then we'll swap, see what each other's cars are like, and try and make something vaguely resembling a conclusion, I suppose.
So the conclusion will be
That
Matt's
I'm right.
stupid,
That I'm right.
and you obviously want a GT-R
That I'm right.
Nismo.
It's going to be the conclusion that I'm right.
Idiot. Honestly, I think Matt's been taking a lot of drugs or something. K11 Micra is the best Nissan ever. Are you mental?
God, there are some crater-sized holes. Yeah, this is like driving over the surface of the moon trying to get out of this car park.
Matt, I'm a little clenched coming out of this car park. There's some horrendous holes, I'll be honest.
I was literally just bragging about how
Easy a time I had getting out that car park.
I'll spot you. You're all right.
Bit of right lock, Give it an angle. No, hang on. You're going to go back again. You're about to
Oh God, failed already.
Genuinely, I might have to go and spot him.
How am I looking?
Oh, I thought.
He's getting out. He's had to get out. He's on his knees. So it turns out you're fine to go off-roading in a Nissan, in a GT-R, as long as you've got a map to spot you everywhere.
Oh, I should probably explain myself. I'm a big fan of the R35 as a whole. In terms of performance, yes, it is the ultimate Nissan, but for everything else, I'm not so sure. Then a K11, they sold 1.2 million of these in compared to like a few thousand Nismo GT-Rs. In terms of overall impact, this car takes the prize. Now, as well, you've got to think about what it did for Nissan. So the K10, you know, it was economical, it was cheap, but God, it was boring. This came along with its funky, bubbly styling, and it was an instant hit. It did everything the K10 did in terms of economy and the value side of things, but it looked a bit funkier, more fun.
Oh God, what road's this? So the GT-R came with adjustable dampers, 3 different modes. So I'm definitely gonna engage comfort for this horrendous pothole road. So you know what, the GT-R feels like a big car, and it is a big car. It's about 1.7, 1.8 tons. So the GT-R first entered production in 2009. This is a 2021 model. 600 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Means it's an absolute weapon on the track. On a narrow little bumpy B road, you got to be brave and you got to have your wits about you, but we're just cruising in 6th gear at about 1500 RPM. I kind of feel like Matt's probably razzing the nuts off it.
That's 30. That's 40. 50. We're not at 60 yet. 60 miles an hour.
Matt, why do I feel like you're probably ragging the nuts off it right now?
Yeah, that was foot flat to the floor, that was.
Yeah, that was like a tickle of your throttle, wasn't it? But I am, at the moment, nice and comfy on this quite bumpy British B road. Are you comfy?
Yeah, I'm just going to pull over to let this tractor come past because my car's quite big and quite carbon.
See, now I'm ahead of you, so you're going to need that performance just to catch up.
Right, about to deploy performance. Holy crap! Oh my word! Deploy more performance. Oh, the noise! Oh my goodness!
So many motorists are going to have some sort of connection to this car. Maybe you learnt to drive in one, maybe your first car was a K11, maybe a Nan had one and used to, you know, take you out in it or whatever. You know, its impact is huge, and it's a car which did so much for Nissan, so much for its image.
Deploying! That is incredible! Oh, I love it! The Nismo's heritage kind of came from Nissan competing their own GT-R in the Japanese Super GT series in the GT500 class, and this is kind of a big run-out model to celebrate that car's success, and it's got loads of stuff derived from motorsport. The Nismo's got its own unique carbon fibre aero package. This model, the slightly later version of the Nismo, makes even more downforce than the earlier model. It's got mechanical locking front differential. It's got a set of bespoke raised 20-inch alloys which are perfect. And of course the aero pack has also got that humongous rear wing, which is like a perfect bench on the rear boot lid. And it's all you see when you look in the rear mirror, and I love it. The R35 GT-R came out in 2009, and it was kind of by all accounts a performance bargain. It went around the ring pretty much as quick as a 911 turbo and cost a fraction of the price. Since then, they did loads of different models, loads of special editions, and this one, the Nismo, is one of the last of those. And what a celebration of an incredible car it is. And a frigging quick car. When you're I'm in manual mode, when you're accelerating from lower revs, there is a little bit of turbo lag that you kind of just have to be aware of. So we're at 3,000 RPM, third gear, there'll be a bit of lag. But then the race to the red line is absolutely nuts. Like when the turbos spool up, it just goes.
In fact, we should probably talk about equipment, because there kind of isn't any. You've got a heater, manual winding windows, get a good workout, but obviously only for your right arm. People might ask questions about why your right arm is much bigger than your left, but whatever. There isn't even a trip meter, you've literally just got your mileage in the middle, that's it. Got one of the biggest fuel gauges I've ever seen. It's just a fun little car to be around in. Like I say, because it's light as well, you know, you feel like you can sort of chuck it around. Obviously the body roll, yeah, but the body roll's kind of amusing. As you might remember a few years ago, a chap called Jack we featured on the channel with the Micra that TikTok built. And yeah, you'll find there these sort of meets now where people turn up in their K11s and they've all got, you know, people put air suspension on them, people put neons on them, people engine swap them. It's a good platform for mod because it's small, it's light, as standard it's relatively simple. Nissan itself had a go at tuning a K11, so there was something called the Micra 350 SR. Yeah, that has a 3.5 litre V6, same one that was in the 350Z. Mid-engined as well, I should note, mid-engine rear-wheel drive. So it was kind of Nissan's answer to the Renault Clio V6. It was only ever really kind of a skunkworks thing that was made in the UK. A few of the magazines tested it back in the day. Yeah, we wanted to drive that today, the 350 SR, but unfortunately it's in for some work. Maybe we'll revisit that at a later date because, yeah, what a thing that must be to drive.
Oh my word, that is addictive. That is so fast. 600 horsepower, and being four-wheel drive, you can use it all. Matt, I'm sorry, Matt. Whatever your reason for that Micra being Nissan's best car, whatever it is, car of the people, cheap, affordable, there's nothing you can say that can compete with this. Oh. Right, Matt, I am loving life in my Nismo, and I'm sure you're hating life in your Micra.
Nonetheless, I feel in the art of fairness, we should probably swap and let me experience
The wonder that is the K11 Micra, and you get to live out your dreams with the Nismo. So should we pull over and do a little swap?
Now it's time to switch cars and also check out the Nismo's fob, which I'm pretty sure is the same one that you get for a 2007 Nissan Qashqai. Genuine first time on flat to the floor on one of these. Hell! Okay, yeah, it's quick. It is quick. You know what? Actually, yeah, I am kind of getting a bit bounced around, but there's enough finesse to the damping that it kind of settles quite nicely. It's not sort of blowing through all of its travel. Kind of ramps up quite nicely.
So we're in the Micra. First things first, no power steering, no aircon, so my window's up, but I'm sweaty already. 55 horsepower, but the thing about it being so lightweight is you can use every single one of the 55 horsepower and drive it absolutely flat out everywhere. And even though it rolls like an absolute boat, you get quite a lot of enjoyment out of doing so. I try to keep Matt behind in the GT-R. I don't want to be enjoying myself. I shouldn't be enjoying myself. Not a good car, boring car.
Yeah, you do. You get a real sense of the lean from behind.
The leaning like this.
I told you, body roll is underrated.
Yeah, it's all about the plushness, right, for those bumpy B roads. Also, Matt, I will say, the gear change feels like a short shift. But being honest, on these bumpy roads where Matt is probably struggling in the stiff GT-R, I'm absolutely pinned to the mat in the Micra. Come on, 55 horsepower, yes!
Traction control actually holding it back quite a lot there because it's obviously not happy about the surface. Ooh, yeah, oh my God, I think a lot of performance cars would struggle.
Oh, no ABS! I locked up. So Matt, turns out no ABS in the Micra either.
You found out the hard way.
Found out the skiddy way. You ready for my spectacular peel out of the junction?
I got some good wheel spin earlier, so... Oh, look at that! That was beautiful!
Yes! Won't see you doing that in a GT-R, boy. Hang on, whose side am I on? I'm supposed to be for the GT-R. Boring, Nissan Micra, boring. I'm gonna have to put the window down, it's very hot in here. So I know Matt's talking about this having sold millions and millions of cars and being the car of the people and being budget and being sorted and being all you need in a car. He's not wrong, but I don't care about that. For me, the thing about the Micra is that there's a huge case for driving a slow car fast, more than driving a fast car slow. And when the car is this slow, with 55 horsepower, you can razz it absolutely everywhere and barely ever break the speed limit. And in a day and age where hot hatches now have 300 horsepower, you just can't do that. So in terms of a back to basics, very, very analog driving experience, the Micra's got a lot going for it. It looks so flat from behind.
It doesn't feel flat at the moment.
You're on one of those, what they call the vibraplate machines at the gym that old people just stand on and vibrate on.
Oh God, I don't want to be doing this. Oh. How am I looking?
Like someone who's bought an inappropriate car to a gravel car park.
I get the feeling you're coming around to my way of thinking, having seen how you were just driving that.
I bring the Nissan GT-R, love it, best car ever, Micra's a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. I had a worrying amount of fun driving it. Like, there's something to be said for driving a slow car fast. And because it is so slow, you can drive it as fast as you want, pretty much everywhere, and you never break a speed limit. And you know what, the gear change feels nice. Yep. The pedals are perfect for heel and toe. You don't know what your revs you're doing, so you just rev it until you hit the limiter. And it's a lot of fun, which is worrying.
Think about what it did for Nissan's image, because like they had the fast stuff, but the normal stuff was so boring, and this came along and it looked funky and cool.
But it is still so boring. Yeah, it's so boring that it's kind of fun. It's fun to drive.
Yeah.
It's boring to look at, and if you're in it, people go, what a boring man. When we started the day, we said, what's the best Nissan? I don't think I can leave here in all good conscience saying the Nissan Micra is the best Nissan ever made. I've still got to say the Nismo GT-R in terms of an all-rounded car, performance, what it stands for, how fast it goes on the road, how fast it goes around the Nürburgring. I think it's incredible. I still think it's the best.
those you're never going to see one in real life. You're probably not going to own one. This, like I say, car of the people. So if you take into account everything, it's got to be this. Ultimate performance Nissan, yes. Ultimate Nissan overall.
I didn't ever expect to be in this position. I don't want to like the Micra. I love the Nismo, but I also like the Micra. Can we end there?
Yeah, maybe what we should do is turn it over to you guys. Let us know in the comments what you think the Ultimate Nissan is. What will probably happen is they'll say, you're both wrong, and it's actually the R34. You're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, and we'll say, great, well done, another good video by Car Throttle.
If that hasn't put you off, please do like and subscribe. Make sure you watch more videos, which will be up there. And do go over to carthrottle.com. We've got more news, features, and general car good stuff. Goodbye.